Maximus Analysis here for April 22nd, 2016. And starting with the ES on the weekly time frame, we really have to see where this one goes. So you see that we still have these lower highs marked up. Now here's what we kind of have to watch. This high, or at least this 2105, and if they're going to close above this 112, I think the level I have is 2116 to the upside. If they're going to break above, I really want to see what happens here, and if they're going to hold these lows. The lows are 2059.50, 2058.50, excuse me. So I don't want them to get back below that level. So I don't know how much juice they have left in the tank. This is a continuation pattern. So I'm giving you both situations. Let me see if I could get this right. So give me 1 second. Let me make sure I get the right tool. This is typically like a continuation pattern. This little oval right here, they haven't broken any lows. So we want to see if they're going to continue and if they're going to break any lows. This morning they got all the way down to, let's go to an intraday chart for the ES. Let's look at this one. And I thought they were going to break down below, but they consolidated so much around the 75 level, because the level I had below that was 2072, and I thought they would get to that, but they didn't. They actually ramped up huge, as you could see, around 130, and came back towards that. And a lot of names really squeezed hard, especially Tesla was up like $6 or something like that. But making sure that we look at all time frames, again, having the weekly to say, okay, we have to see what's going on. But also remember that little oval shaped pattern. We want to see if they can just break a weekly low. It's just like, wow, but this one has, again, I haven't adjusted this downtrend line at all. So it's not like I made it, I'm adjusting it for the price action. It's still close below it. So I want to see if they actually break below this low. Hasn't happened yet. Bulls are still in control, and it seems like every time they just flirt with it, it just continues and continues to happen. Again, they do not want to test this bull trend line. This is it, and as long as they stay above it, they're in a bull trend. If they break below it, they are flirting with disaster. And again, this will be the fourth test of this low. 1, 2, 3, and then if they come again, I think that they will break based on this pattern as well. But we gotta say, at the end of the day, they could push it up to 2162. Not 2160 also, not 2162. I want to make sure I give you the right levels. So we'll continue to watch that. NQ, same type of deal, very sideways, but you have to say they haven't broken any bull pivots as yet. They haven't closed below a weekly break of a weekly low yet. So this could squeeze higher, even though the NASDAQ got pretty beat up with Google really getting clobbered for earnings. And we got earnings season coming up some more in the next week, which is Amazon and Facebook as well. I think Amazon is the 28th and Facebook is the 27th. So we'll continue to see that, and I'm going to go over those as well. YM needs to stay above, I would say 1750, that same level. Again, let's kind of take this off so that we can get a clear picture of what we have going on in regards to that same type of trend line. So this goes here. Again, these are not magical numbers. It's just taking stuff and saying, okay, you don't want to break back below this number, and that's about the 1750 level. So we don't want to break 2 weeks back. We want to see if they have a break, how deep they come, because it could move quick. Again, we're just been in those type of times. So they're back at the mid-level of the 215 chop, which is incredible as it is, but it is what it is. These are the markets. Looking at crude, I wanted to show you guys the daily of crude. And so here's the challenge with crude. The weekly, that's a damn hard bar to short into. And maybe, as weird as it sounds, that's the reason why some people will short into it, because it's the uncomfortable trade. And sometimes the most uncomfortable trades can be the most profitable. Now, we've seen candles like this before, so we want to make sure that we're not just looking and saying, oh, this is a bullish engulfing here. This one looked exactly the same as this one. I don't know if it's the same length. We can actually mess around and see if they actually equal close to it here, and see if it's close to the length of this. No, I didn't move it. Very close, actually. Wow. They're actually similar in the complete height. You saw I did. I'm not messing up. I could actually, if you look here to this lower, you see the range of this candle is the TR, which is $5, and the TR for this one is $5.50. So they're very close in range. So we don't want to rule out that because we have a bar like this that the short couldn't be in play. It's just a difficult one, and we could continue to look at what levels we have. So on the daily for crude, we see that we're touching this 200 moving average. We're all over it. Again, if you're in from here, that's cool. We just want to see if what break we have, where we're going. The pivots, as you see here on the arrows, are still holding, and it's going to be very hard to short into that orb. So again, it's kind of confusing because the daily you look like you want some more, but then the weekly you're like, do I want more now? Or maybe I wait for another pullback. Again, I don't trade breakouts, but I would like for you guys to at least see what we got going on in regards to crude. We're also we're not at that bad of a stage. I was going to say we're at probably the midpoint of this, and if I do this, we'll see where we are. No, we're not at the midpoint yet. So we still can go up some more. So just watch, and again, don't let that one candle kind of throw you off. This volume is not going to be right because it's actually for the M contract. This is not the continuous contract for crude. So just keep that in mind as well. Just because you're going to see this huge volume and say, oh my God, there's so much bullish. This is not the continuous contract. So the M contract, remember, crude rolls over every month. All right, let's get out of this and go into some equity names. So let's start with Apple. You can see Apple here looking like they could continue to the downside. Again, a break of this 105.68 level is what we're kind of looking at, and that's where they actually stopped it. So the weekly, however, looks like there's a lot more potential for some downside because you had this sell right here, and they're going to at least give it about a couple of weeks, if that, and then if they ever come and test these levels. But we have earnings on Tuesday, so we got to see what's going on. But this looks like a continuation pattern for more downside. But again, you have earnings, so it is what it is. So again, on the weekly time frame, people might, if you trade the weekly time frame, some people don't care. They're like, I don't care if it's earnings or not. Daily time frame, some people, again, you got to know what you like to trade and how you like to trade it. Google, talk of earnings, really got beat up here, down 42 bucks. I think a weekly time frame gives you a little bit better perspective on, and we talked about this because I didn't say that it couldn't go back up, but I was just saying that the amount of weeks that it went up like this, but they still have to break a pivot. They still haven't broken this pivot. I tell you this, that they break this one right here, and it's you're going to see a lot of selling here. But we got to continue to see if there's going to be follow through to the downside, because again, remember, they had this candle and there wasn't any follow through to the downside. It just grinded, and I grinded up, and it was a sloppy pattern. I'm going to clean this whole chart up for next week because we've been looking at this, and I like to put these annotations on there to keep everybody in line. But we'll see if they continue to the downside, and that's going to definitely have some weight on the Dow. On the NASDAQ. Next one we have is Amazon, and we'll continue to watch this because it's, again, another type of setup where you're like, does this mean that I have more longs coming in? And you have earnings on the 28th, but then you look at the weekly for Amazon, and you're like, this looks like a pretty long time coming for some type of pullback. You have, let's do a bar count. You have from the low, you have 10 bars, so 10 weeks, right? And we have from, let's try to do the same thing. So we have down It took 6. So you have a month and a half versus almost 3 months to the upside. So I don't know what earnings is going to do, but this still shows me that we still have a little bit of a weaker, we're in a weaker state. But we'll look again. Earnings are on the 28th, and we'll watch it from there. Last but not least, we have Facebook. Now, Facebook is just one of these patterns that you're like, I don't really know what's going on, because at any time it looks like it's a bull. Again, you have this was down $2.58, down 10 cents, gave the same type. Look at this. I mean, this is annoying, and it's annoying me because if you're a candlestick guy, you're like, I got all these damn wicks. Even though this one is still holding, I got this. I just wanted some follow through, and it's still. I mean, you got this bar, 1, 2, and gap down, and it's not earnings yet. So it's just like, God, I don't know what the hell is going on. And then the weekly, you're kind of like, shit. Sorry, my language. All right, they gave a false breakout, a false buy signal this week. Are they going to continue to the downside? Because they have the same type of deal regarding that hell of a bar count. You got from this earnings, you got what? You got 7 weeks. They didn't take out the high, and then you got another one. So it's critical for me that they do not break this week's low, which is 110.50. No, excuse me, it is not 110.50. It is 109. And we definitely don't want to go 2 back, which is the 106.5, 106.50. So we're really going to watch this one, because this is a very difficult pattern. It's a very annoying pattern. We have this upward wedge that we're still working with, but we have to watch this one a little closer because it's giving a lot of conflicting signals. You get some higher lows, but you also get 7 weeks up, no break of the earnings high or gap up. 2 weeks down, giving a nice signal, and then it's just a bunch. And on the daily, you saw the ton of wicks. So we'll continue to watch. And again, I'm not ruling anything out. I'm not saying they can't go for 2160, but I'm still waiting. Again, the Bulls still have possession of the ball until they break a weekly low and close before, because they can tap it all they want. I want to see what it closes and look like. Almost to the point where I'm like, shoot, should I just wait for Thursday, Friday to see what the hell is going on with these markets? So again, if you're having a little bit of confusion because it's going back and forth, that's fine. I'm here to help, here to just give you some material so at least you can come back and look at things properly. So take care, and we'll see you on Monday.